Hey family, I hope you guys are having a wonderful morning. I am doing well this morning. I'm decompressing because I just dropped the kids off to school, and so now I'm like chilling in a random parking lot drinking my coffee that I made. Aren't y'all proud of me? I didn't buy coffee this morning. I'm drinking the coffee that I made, and I'm just relaxing just for a little while, just to stop and chat with you guys. Yeah, I am decompressing because our mornings are kind of hectic. The way CJ works, he's usually going really early, and so I am left to get 4 kids ready for school. Now, mind you, the 2 older ones are like 9 and 12. They can get themselves ready, but they don't always do everything they need to do on time. And a lot of times it's mama, can you, mama this, mama that, mama this. But mind you, mama has to get a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old ready. So anyway, so my oldest asked me if he could sleep in this morning, and I was like, yeah. I reluctantly said yes, but I'm like, you have to be able to get ready on time because he is known for moving like a sloth. He moves so slow. So I was like, yeah, you can sleep in a little bit, but you have to be ready on time. If you are not ready on time, you will be punished, because this is not a once or a twice, or this boy is 40. Pause. I made that coffee really good this morning. This boy is tardy almost every day. Like, our schools do not play when it comes to tardies at all. Tardies, absences, you will get a letter from truancy. I already got a letter from truancy. The letter was because it said that he had 4 unexcused absences. Mind you, we're already in November. We're only in November. School started in August. But those were not unexcused absences. I just had to get the doctor's excuses in, and I didn't email it like the day of. I just waited until he was ready to go back to school. So I got that all situated. So thankfully I won't have to go to that meeting. But y'all, like, they do not play with absences. And then this boy's like tardy almost every morning, and that starts to add up because they add up those morning instructional hours. And I'm like, baby, if you can't be ready on time, you're gonna start riding the bus. He goes to a magnet academy, so he does not go to the school that we're zoned for. So there are satellite bus stops, and I'm like, you have to start riding the bus. Like, this not working. Something gotta shake. He's stressing me out in the morning. So anyway, yeah, I got that squared away this morning. Emailed the principal, let her know, like, hey, like, I turned in those excuses. Everything's good. So yeah. But I'm relaxing until it's time to go home and make my gumbo. When the temperature drops in Louisiana, that's like one of the first things we do is make a gumbo. Mind you, it dropped last week and it's already like 60 degrees now. So it's not as cool as we typically like it, but gumbo is just one of those things we make when the weather drops. I mean, you can make it year round, but especially during fall and winter, we love to make a good gumbo. Just like in other states, y'all like to make chili and different things like that when the temperature drops. For us, it is gumbo. So, but yeah, I'm just relaxing. Just wanted to come back and say hey, you guys. I know I kind of touched on different life events that happened while I had been away, but back in, let's see, back in May, I had like the worst flare up I had ever had with the whole Hashimoto situation. It was really bad. It had what did I have going on? Anxiety. It felt like I had hives all over my body, but there was no rash. It's just like skin just itching, lots of anxiety, mental fog, joint pain, you name it. It was just a lot going on, and it was all due to stress. One of my favorite aunts, that I'm really close to. I know y'all say aunt and stuff. I'm from Louisiana, baby. I say aunt. like the bug ant. Aunt, y'all know what I'm saying. But anyway, one of my favorite aunts, she and I were really close. Like, she was like a second mom to me, and she got really sick in May. Mind you, May was like the end of the school year, and so much was going on with the kids because, I mean, the school year is wrapping up. They crammed like 50 million events into like the last few weeks of school. Like, it'll be this event, this fun thing, that fun thing. Of course, you gotta pay for it, but it's like so many different things popping up. And so that was going on. End of the year awards, like just trying to be at like 3 different schools, like for all these different activities. And then like my aunt got really sick, and she had been sick for a while, but like I thought we were gonna lose her in May. So that was really hard, and I grieved a lot because like I thought we were gonna lose her, but I did get a chance to tell her everything I wanted to tell her, and so that felt good. And then, but yeah, I was really stressing because like I said, end of the school year activities, my aunt had a close call, thought she was gonna pass away in May. And then we found out we had mold in the apartment where we were living, condo apartment, but they call it luxury condos. Ain't nothing luxury about that mold that was in that apartment. I'll tell you that. But there we found mold, and there were different situations where we called maintenance. There were like leaks and different things, and it would be fixed, but then not fully fixed, and it was just so much going on. And had a mold specialist come out, y'all. But I couldn't focus on that at the time because, like I said, my aunt was in the hospital, and so there was that. And then she got better. She left the hospital. The kids and I went to Georgia for like a month. CJ joined us like the last week of June. So after school let out, kids and I went to Georgia. Hung out with like one of my favorite cousins. Like, we really enjoyed that time, but it was much needed. And during that time, I realized that like I felt much better health wise. So back to the mold. And life was life. And so came back home the end of June. July, my aunt passed away. It was really hard. But I think that when she did pass in July, I had accepted it by then because I was able to really grieve in June and tell her everything that I needed to tell her. And although it was hard in July, because I wasn't expecting it, like she had gotten better, so I was like, oh good, like so she's good now. No, she wasn't. So yeah, although she did pass in July, I think that I was able to at least, I felt better that I was able to at least tell her what I needed to tell her. And I knew that she was no longer in pain, and she was a godly woman. Like, she's a good woman, she's a godly woman. I know that she's like in heaven. I know she's with God. But it was hard because, like I said, she's like, this is my mom's sister, and she was like a second mom to me, or even like a grandmother, you know, like just really, you know, that was my favorite aunt. So I have my moments, but I'm okay because I'm at peace because I know where my aunt is. I know she's good. So then that happened. So yeah, school started again in August, and then we started having more leaks and more issues with the condo, and then we found more mold. I was like, oh no, it's time to go. So anyway, we found a place. Absolutely love this place. So now we're in a new home. The kids absolutely love it. They love the yard. They love being in a subdivision where there are kids, you know, their age. They haven't met everyone yet, but you know, we're still new to the area. We're the type of family that like hangs out in the backyard. Like, we be chilling in the backyard, minding our business. But every now and then we'll have like the garage up, and we'll have the kids playing in the front yard. You know, they met other kids the other day, so that was really nice. I really like where we are now. I really like the new home. So yeah, so those are like the recent life events. Now I'm like ready to work. I'm ready to find a job. School has started. All of my kids are now in school. My youngest started pre-K, so that's exciting for him. He loves it. So yeah, I'm ready to go back to work, y'all. I've been a stay-at-home mom for a while now, and now I'm ready to go back to work. I'm trying to think what else has been happening. So those are pretty much like the recent events that took place over the last few months that I had to catch y'all up on. Since moving out of that condo, I have no Hashimoto symptoms. I have no Hashimoto symptoms at all. I was starting to get better, but like you know, that month away from home made a difference. But like I said, I really prayed. I talked to God. I focused a lot on my gut health over the last few months, and then we moved out of that place, and y'all, like, I have no Hashimoto symptoms whatsoever. So yeah, the order was sent for me to go do my blood work and check on those levels, those antibody levels. So I need to like set my appointment and go do that. But I feel great, and I've been digging, I've been researching, as I do. Y'all know I like to research. There's a correlation between mold and Hashimoto's. There's a correlation. So as we were moving out, a neighbor who was going to be moving in ended up passing like right by, and she was like, hey, can I see your storage closet in your garage, because I'm going to be moving into that apartment. CJ told her, yeah, you could come and see. I was still in the car at the time. And then I waved at her, like we had just pulled into the garage. He was like doing stuff in the garage. That's when we were still moving out. So like I waved at her, and because I recognized her, she was looking at the storage closet like, okay, like, you know, kind of getting an idea of where she wanted to move things. And CJ's like, when she left, CJ's like, you know, she's gonna be moving into this apartment. I said, this one? He said, yeah. I said, we should tell her. And he was like, you want to tell her? I'm like, yeah, we need to tell her. So anyway, I went chase her down, and I was like, hey ma'am, how are you? And we talked. I would always see her walking her dog. So sweet lady. She would see me yelling, fussing at the kids while driving off in the mornings, because my oldest is always late. So yeah, I told her to come back, and I said, so you're gonna be moving into this apartment? She said yes. I said, I need you to come and take a walk with me inside. Or I said, let's have a conversation about it. And I told her everything that's been going on, how I feel so much better now that I'm out of that environment, how there was mold detected and how there's even more now, and how I did get a professional to come out. And yeah, I have pictures, I had proof, I let her see everything. And she was like, I appreciate you so much, because she's immunocompromised. She has health issues. And the last thing she needed to do was move into a moldy situation. So, I'm pretty sure the complex isn't too happy with me right now, because I know they know that I told her, or probably have a clue, but I don't care. Fix it. That complex actually flooded in 2016. There was a huge flood in my city. And you would think that it had been renovated, but I guess not, because there are other residents in the area who are having mold issues as well. I know somebody who is actively being treated for mold toxicity as like we speak, who lives there. And then I developed an autoimmune disorder while living there. So yeah, I'm gonna warn people, like, you know. And if they try to come back and say, oh, that's not true, I have pictures, I have proof. I'm not trying to be malicious or anything like that, but I did let that lady know, because I don't want to know. I wish somebody had told me, you know. So anyway, out of that situation, feeling amazing. I do need to get back to my walking and my working out, because I was working out every day and then started moving, and yeah, I fell off with that, because like, you know, moving it was a lot. So yeah, that's what's been going on. But we've been great. We're loving a new place. Like I said, I'm about to go home, make some gumbo, and yeah. So that's a little more of the update. That's a little bit more of what's been going on in our lives. CJ's still working, still driving trucks, but thankfully, like I said, he's home every night. So now we've been coming up with a plan to take better care of ourselves, our health. He needs to get more sleep, and I need to focus on getting my steps in and doing what I gotta do, because, you know, I'm getting close to 40. Like, I gotta, you know, put my health first and take care of myself. I mean, we have 4 kids, like I told them, so like, we gotta pay attention to how we're treating our body, so our body can treat us well back, you know. We gotta be here for these 4 kids, and the best way to do that is to make sure that we're good. Take care of ourselves first. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? So yeah, that's what's been going on with us. What else did I want to tell y'all? I don't know. My 9-year-old had an issue with a sub recently, and he's not the type of kid to complain at all. So I ended up emailing the principal, because I'm like, what's going on? Like, what is happening? I didn't email her initially, because, you know, kids will come back and tell you something about a teacher, and it's like, sometimes there's more to the story. I always pay attention, and I store that in the back of my mind. If it's urgent enough, I will handle it immediately, because I don't play about my kids. But I also have enough common sense to know that sometimes kids can say stuff and it's not always the whole story, even like the best behaved kids, and sometimes they don't always tell what they did. So I take the time to analyze, like really stop and think about it. Like really stop and think about, okay, this is what happened. This is what he said. I ask a lot of questions. I give him advice on how to handle certain situations when he goes back. And then I sit back and I pay attention. So for example, he tells me that this new sub is really rude. So his teacher, his regular teacher, is out on maternity leave. He actually has 2 teachers out on maternity leave right now. But this one particular sub, he said, makes kids cry like all the time in class, and she's really rude. And I'm like, what is happening? Okay. Now, this particular kid at school is very happy-go-lucky. He does not get in trouble. He, listen, I went to parent-teacher conference, and they call this boy an angel baby. They're like, he's an angel. Like, if he does have his moments where he's talkative, like, they don't even get upset, because they're like, you just have to redirect him one time. Like, he's so good. He does his work. They love him. This was at parent-teacher conference. I'm talking to a row of his teachers. It's like 4 or 5 teachers in there, and they're all saying he's amazing. This is not a kid that has behavior issues at all at school. He did in the past, but that was due to a medical issue. We'll talk about that in the next video. So back to this. Long story short, the kid has no issues at school. Like, he's a good kid, and he's complaining to me about this rude sub. So I'm like, okay, I stored that. I said, what I want you to do is when you go to school, like, don't say anything at all in that particular class. Like, don't say anything to a friend. Don't look at anybody. Don't smile. Don't say anything. Act like you're like, I don't know, act like you're like a robot. Like, turn the machine off when you're in that class. Like, the only time you say something is if she asks you a question, then go ahead and respond. Other than that, just... Because if you do that and she still finds something to argue about, like, now I know what I'm dealing with. Like, I'm dealing with somebody that just kind of likes to pick at kids. I did that with my oldest before, and we had 2 situations in the past where teachers were still nitpicking with him after he followed my advice. And after doing further research, it was definitely those teachers. But usually I give people the benefit of the doubt, because like, everybody has a bad day. Even teachers have bad days. Subs have bad days. You're dealing with a classroom full of kids. It can be a lot, you know. Like, I've been getting frustrated with my 4 sometimes. So I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but I also realize that sometimes there are adult bullies. And in the situation with my oldest, I found out that 2 teachers, and this is out of like all the years of him going to school, he's now in the 7th grade, only 2 teachers have actually been bullies, you know. But with this particular sub, like I said, with my 9-year-old, I kind of stored what he said, like, you know, in the back of my brain, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on this. And I gave him advice, and that was that. Y'all, I go into the parent page of my kid, of his school, on Facebook, and parents are going off about the same sub, and the things that they were saying that their kids said about the sub, I said, oh no. No. So I emailed the principal immediately. We all emailed the principal. So I'm curious to see what happens, because I noticed his grade dropped a little bit in that class without his regular teacher being there. And apparently the kids are afraid to ask the sub questions. The lady sounds very mean. I'm like, who hired Miss Trunchbull? Who hired Miss Trunchbull? Because, like, what is happening? Like, a lady, if you don't like kids, why are you there? Like I said, I'm not the type of parent to automatically, like, run and jump to my kids' defense, but I will absolutely advocate for them, like, when needed. I don't play at all when it comes to my children. At all. So, after seeing everything those other parents said, and then talking to him more, and him telling me more, email the principal. So, I'm curious to see how that situation is handled. I do trust that they will, you know, do what they need to do and handle that situation quickly, because he does go to a really good school, and you know, for the most part, we've had great experiences there. But yeah, I don't know what this sub's problem is, y'all. Like, the messages, the posts that I saw, the comments that I saw, it was crazy. I mean, she's not abusive, but verbally dang near, you know? Like, lady, are you okay? Do I need to find you? Like, are you okay? I don't know, y'all. Like, my temper is so much better than it used to be. I promise it is. But I do trust that administration will do what they have to do, because they really are good. But it's very important to listen to your kids when they tell you things. It's very important to advocate for them. You know your child, you know. Always get more information, pay attention, give teachers grace, but also, like, use wisdom and discernment, you know, in certain situations, you know. So he has that class again tomorrow, and I'm curious to see what happens there. I understand that they need a sub for the teacher that's out, but baby, find another one. Find another one before I have to have a meeting with this sub. So anyway, in the last video, I know y'all could probably tell I'm all stuffed up. It's fall. Fall and spring is that time of year for me, like when my allergies go berserk. in the last video, I actually had an ear infection and probably a sinus infection too. So y'all could probably see like how puffy I was and how stuffy. That's what was going on there. But I just had to come back and tell you guys hey, and catch up and tell you guys I appreciate and love y'all so much. And I'm gonna end this video. This is basically part 2 of me catching up. Next video we'll talk about advocating for your kids. And yeah, I gotta tell y'all about another situation with my 9-year-old, how like I really had to like get to the bottom of what was going on with him, how what we thought was behavioral back in kindergarten turned out to be medical. He is now in the 4th grade and doing absolutely amazing, honor roll student, and we'll talk about that next video. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, for tuning in. I really appreciate y'all so much. Y'all are amazing. Y'all really know how to make a girl feel good, especially like when you're going through things and you look back and you see people like, hey, are you okay? Yeah, I'm good, thank y'all. I will definitely make more videos soon. The next one, like I said, will be about advocating for your kid and getting answers. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in again, and I will see you again next time. Bye.